Take a look at the goaltending matchup tonight, and with these two guys in the net, you wonder if anybody's going to score. Both of them are in the top 10 in the league in goals against average, save percentage, and victories. Corey tonight in his 14th consecutive appearance. And at the other end, a rested guy, Jonathan Quick, has not played in a week. The last time he played in the game was last Saturday, but this is still his 19th start out of 24 LA Kings games. The official tonight, Mike Leggo, is paired up with this young man, Tom Chmielewski, who's been in the American League for a couple of years. This will be only his 6th or 7th NHL game ever. He gets a big call tonight to work an important matchup. And he's paired up with Leggo, the linesman Shane Heyer and Tony Sariklo. And look at the kid's going to be able to drop the opening faceoff. That usually goes to the veteran guy. All right, we're underway. Duncan Keith, pass missing, going all the way down, icing Chicago.
Yeah, quick little lift of the stick there, partner by Anze Kopitar on Jonathan Toews. He wasn't able to touch that puck, so an early face-off to the left of Corey Crawford.
Eddie, it's really too bad to a hockey fan's mind that this is the first of only 3 meetings between these teams during the regular season, and I know you feel the same way because you and Doc Emmerich talked about it a lot. That playoff series last spring between these teams that went 7 and beyond, hockey doesn't get any better than that. 2 great teams, well-matched, great played games every time they got together. You just hope that these regular season games approach that. If they get even close, we're going to be really in for a treat.
Yeah, you had everything in that 7-game series. You really did.
Here's Seabrook keeping it in, fires a wrist shot, Quick stopped it, and able to not yield a rebound with Saad lurking right there.
Well, Pat, you made mention of Jonathan Quick. I mean, hasn't been in a crease for a week, and you can practice all you want and watch video, but it still is going to take some time for him to get comfortable in that net. I'm sure he would want some shots on goal, and if you're the Blackhawks, you understand, hey, it's been a while since he's been in the net. Let's throw everything at the net. And you just saw that from Seabrook. That was a not an easy save by Quick by any stretch.
Now in behind is Versteeg. Chris Versteeg battles it loose away from McNabb, but the puck winds up in the corner. Here's Kane. Left it on the boards. Dustin Brown got there, and it's help from McNabb to carry ahead. Right, McNabb rolled it to Brown. The LA captain couldn't get the pass through. He'll try again. This one is picked off, and out comes Richards. He'll get it in for a Hawks change.
Shift lengths are going to be really important here tonight, Pat. Blackhawks, as you mentioned earlier, 6th game of the road trip, 3rd and 4 nights. Got to make sure you're up and down and off, get everybody into it.
Regeer kept it in. Now Lewis. Trevor Lewis got spun around in the corner by Roosevelt. Puck squirts free. Hawks get it. And out comes Smith to Keith. Back to Ben Smith. He's got room to the line. Shoots one. That deflects up over the glass. Out of play.
Well, fans, don't miss your chance to catch all the exciting Blackhawks action from in between the player benches. Bid on the CME Group seats through the online CME Group seats auction. For more information, visit ChicagoBlackhawks.com.
Andrew Shaw steps over the boards for Joel Quenneville. His line with Carcillo and Bickle, and Shaw just coming back into the lineup. Played in 2 games, has 2 goals and an assist. And they've been great at the dot. Here's a bounce puck into the net. It was batted out of midair by Carcillo, and the Blackhawks, after a face-off win by Shaw, have taken the lead early on.
Boy, after a beautiful pass yesterday afternoon to set up the Andrew Shaw goal, Danny Carcillo comes right out here against his former team and is able to get to the front of the net, Pat, from our Honda goal replay. He's going to find inside position. This puck is very close to the height of the crossbar. Now, he has to make contact with that puck. Oh, yeah, it's well below. Well below. You can see the stick of Drew Doughty. That's a good goal. And the new Papa gets on the scoreboard. Better grab that puck and put it on the dresser of Austin Wolf. Congratulations to Danny and his girlfriend Ella again on the birth of Austin Wolf this past Monday.
right, now here's the new Daddy dumping one in. Like you, Eddie, I've had a chance to talk to Danny about that experience, and his reaction not much different from all the guys who have gone through that. Absolute amazement. A life-changing event. And I have a pretty good feeling that that puck may have a place of honor in the Carcillo home here pretty soon. All right, here's Oduya moving in, dropped it over to Taves. Jonathan Taves in behind. Saad missed it. Hossa did not. Marian Hossa was dinged with a cheap shot move by Corey Perry late in the game yesterday, but able to return to join his mates this evening. Now Tyler Toffoli and Oduya got together. The puck went out. There's a steal by Toffoli, but he was checked right away at the line by Taves. Kopitar chased it down. Anze Kopitar shooting. Good block by Seabrook. And back comes Hossa. Matt Green back for the Kings. Williams going rink wide. Here's Dustin Brown with a ring around. Hjalmarsson cleared it to the boards. Kane. He's pinched by McBain and did not get it out. But follow up by Hjalmarsson. He's able to hand it out of the zone. Eddie, when you get a second, is there anybody in the league better with one hand on their stick than Nick Hjalmarsson? It's constantly amazing. He's certainly, a lot of guys can break up plays with it. He makes plays with it that way. Here's Versteeg. Williams able to knock it loose. And now a turnover. Versteeg unable to get rid of an attempt. Dropped it to Keith, a long pass, picked up by Kane. Now Richards leaves it for Versteeg. Chris Versteeg weaving on his backhand, dropped it to Kane. His shot missed the net. Rebound held in. Seabrook finds Richards, who's trying to center. Broke it up before reaching Kane. Now Versteeg's got it. Great shift here for this Richards line. Here's a Keith. Looking back, Versteeg's long one, a knuckleball, and a save made by Quick. That was not an easy chance.
Well, this all started because of the work ethic of this line. We touched out in the open, Pat, below the goal line. Good movement. Chris Versteeg's going to get this pass from Duncan Keith and deflect it out from about 35 feet out. Ended up going off, I believe, the glove of McNabb, who came out to block that shot. And it was a difficult stop there for Jonathan Quick. Good shift there.
And Chris Versteeg, we just saw 9 points in his last 6 games. The Kings misfire on a pass. Oduya getting back. Ooh, we had a blowout. It's nearly turned over, but Carter missed it. And back comes Smith. Bounce one into the offensive zone. Doughty for LA. Clears it around, and Pearson able to move it ahead. Lewis bounced it deep. Hjalmarsson, good play to Kruger. Rolled it ahead. Nordstrom. Got checked by Regeer at center. Kings looking to complete a change. They didn't get it in very deep, and Roosevelt. Now rolled it into the zone. Here's Shaw off the middle shooting. Good block eventually by McBain as he backed right in on Shaw, who tried to trigger. Now a win in the corner by Bickle. Here's a long shot. Rundblad missed the net. And Muzzin rolled it loose. Here comes Pearson, who's been out there a long time for the Kings, needing to get it in for a change. Jordan Nolan. Checked by Andrew Shaw. Well, they work along the boards. It goes around the other way. Green kept it. Carcillo nearly turned it over. It's batted back. Here's a long shot. McBain missed the net. Rebound in behind. And Roosevelt goes off the glass. Bickle able to tap it out of there. Lyle Clifford back into the Hawk zone. Seabrook checked into the corner. Keith, nice pass to Hossa. They'll waltz out. Saad going wide. And inside looking to center. That's picked off. Clifford rolled it to Kopitar, but only get as far as center.
Good pressure there from Duncan Keith to take away any opportunity for Kopitar to make a tape-to-tape pass.
Robin Regeer just went past the 1,000 game mark a while back for the Kings. Bouncing puck. Hossa couldn't find the handle. Carter, I should say Toffoli, flipped it ahead. King retrieved. Now help from Kopitar. Good pickoff by Hjalmarsson, who seemed to know where Kopitar was going to try to make that pass to King. And Oduya got it to Richards clearing.
That's going to be an important area of the ice at boardwork, getting the pucks out at your blue line and get it in at the Kings blue line. I want to turn the puck over.
Brown missed on a pass. Richards looks towards Kane, flipping it forward. And the Kings able to get out. Good backhand pass from Brown deep in his own end, and Crawford handled an easy wrist slap. It's 1-0 Chicago early.
Yesterday afternoon, there's Niklas Hjalmarsson. Pat, you were talking about how good he is with one hand on his stick, and how about the physical play from our BMO Harris Bank telestrator. We're going to take another look at that. I mean, this is just absolutely textbook. Stop it right here. All you young hockey players, first off, get your stick buried on the ice. Keep your hands down and put your shoulder or your bicep right into the chest of the attacking player. And yes, this puck ended up in the back of the net. But Pat, if I was doing a teaching DVD on body checking, that hit right there would be front and center, because everything about it was the way that we want to see it delivered, especially through the middle of the ice. Beautiful stuff.
A long shot blocked by Nordstrom as McBain tried to get it through, could not, and Smith comes out. By the way, Joakim Nordstrom, who tried to chase for that loose puck, how about his last 4 games, been credited with 18 hits, and that's in only 48 minutes of play. So, I mean, we look at the stat sheets every night. If a guy has a 3-hit game, that is above and beyond. Right. Most guys are well below that. So he has been a physical presence since getting his chance in the Hawks lineup, and he doesn't look like he wants to yield that spot very easily.
Yeah, the understanding that you have some healthy bodies and figuring out a role, accepting and executing it, and I think the more experience he gets, Pat, I mean, a very intelligent player. I remember having a conversation with assistant general manager Mark Bernard, who also is the general manager down in Rockford in the American Hockey League, about Nordstrom, and I think he's a guy that's going to be able to be in rotation regularly for killing penalties at some point here. A real smart player, a good stick, and he can really skate, and that are good attributes to have when you're being a part of the penalty killing unit.
Which will take some doing to get a regular rotation there. The Hawks are the best in the league at doing it. All right, Bickle, who picked up an assist on the first Hawks goal. This pass broken up. And this line, Bickle, Carcillo, and Shaw have generated all 3 Blackhawks scoring chances up till this point in the game. Shaw got squeezed to the boards by Lewis, still able to get it out of there, though.
Good defensive play there, Pat, by Niklas Hjalmarsson. Again, Jeff Carter trying to move that puck over to Pearson going wide, and then just Hjalmarsson just took up a lot of space and did not allow that pass to get across.
Taves got checked right away. Keith there to help out. Comes around the boards. Hossa well covered. It's gloved to head to Taves. You can do that in your own end, and the Hawks get out. Saad for Taves. The pass behind him, and he was going to get lit up by McNabb, who still did get a pretty good piece of him. Clifford the other way. Now a centering pass broken up. Crawford to Hossa. Marian Hossa got checked right as he approached the line by Regeer. Offside, the result.
Well, visit the new and expanded Blackhawks store at 333 North Michigan Avenue, as well as Oak Brook Center Mall, for a special Thanksgiving weekend sale through tomorrow. Both locations will be offering 25% off premier and replica jerseys. Visit ChicagoBlackhawks.com for more info.
This one dropped unfairly, so a quick reminder about the appearance on this coming Tuesday night by U.S. Hockey Hall of Famer Eddie Olczyk. I'm going to be there to handle security for him. But the Buffalo Wild Wings in Frankfurt will be there from 7 to 9 on Tuesday night. It's on LaGrange Road in Frankfurt. 7 to 9, the timing on Tuesday night. Hope all the great Blackhawk fans in that neck of the woods
big giveaway.
have a chance to stop by. Yeah.
4 tickets to the April 5th game on the glass between the Hawks and St. Louis Blues. So the drawing is tomorrow night. So last chance to jump in.
Tuesday night, you mean? I know you're a little...
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Tuesday night. If I'm there, tomorrow we're in trouble.
Well, I know you're always very well prepared. Tyler Toffoli could not pick it up. Nordstrom comes out. It would have been offside if Kruger touched it. That's why I just let it go, and the Hawks want to change anyway. Halfway through the first period, Chicago up a goal. Oduya. Here's it around to Hjalmarsson. And the Kings being very physical here in the last several shifts. Here's a loose puck. Williams could not get it settled down. Kane the other way. Patrick Kane been red hot into the zone for Stiga. Shot and a save, and the rebound just hopped away from Kane. Richards took a whack, didn't connect. Now it goes back to Oduya. Hjalmarsson's one-timer. And a good look from Quick at that one. Kane on the other side. That pass deflected. McBain couldn't pick it up. Oduya the keep. Now McBain. Checked by Kane. Rolled it back. Oduya fires along when that puck was on edge and it drifted wide. Held in by Versteeg. Now Brown and Richards get together in the corner. Kings finally get control. Saad broke up the breakout pass, and the Hawks keep it alive. Great shift here for the Richards line. As it's into the corner, and Seabrook back of the net is Saad trying to muscle his way in front. Kane, crossbar! Patrick Kane, after being set up by Saad, beat Quick but hit the crossbar. What a shift for that line, which eventually Saad joined, and now their Hawks get right back in, but that time things got gummed up at the blue line.
That line is really working well together, but again, it all starts below the goal line. They're throwing the puck in behind. They're not trying to be real fancy. They're just getting it in, getting the work, supporting one another, changing sides, and then attacking.
Saad trying to center, hit an LA skate, and an alert left pad from Quick. Is able to keep his team within one, but the last couple of minutes belonging to the visitors. Patrick Kane, a wonderful chance for the goalie down. Bottom of the crossbar.
Back to LA from our BMO Harris Bank Telestrator. There is Anze Kopitar. Watch the play here by Duncan Keith. Talking about taking away time and space. I mean, this is where the Hawks really separate themselves from a lot of teams in the National Hockey League. They encourage their defensemen to step up and take away space, especially from a world-class player like a guy like Anze Kopitar. Now, Pat, he's able to do that because Kopitar doesn't have any support coming up the ice. So again, you just can't leave your position to shut a guy off. You got to make sure that you got some help there.
All right, now Keith dropped it back to Seabrook, who comes in here with a 7-game scoring streak, Brent Seabrook. Now got a penalty coming up against the Blackhawks as Doughty rolled it loose to Pearson. There goes the goalie to the bench. 6 attackers LA. Lewis circles back. But is checked right away by Saad, who took him off the puck. That brings on the whistle.
Look, it's going to be on Jonathan Toews. He's got the guilty skate over to the penalty box. He came in contact with Jeff Carter behind the play.
All right, the Kings with the first power play of the game, and this unit's been red hot. They've scored 7 of the last 22. That's 7 goals the last 6 games for the LA power play. They get the draw. Doughty goes over the other side. Kopitar, race shot. Good save by Crawford. Rebound back toward the line, and Carter. Jeff Carter to Jake Muzzin. He drags it, shot it, and a save, rebound. A shot block in front, I believe, by Kruger. Held in, Doughty to Muzzin. The shot, good block, Hjalmarsson. That hurt him. It hit him up just on the left, or the right ankle, it looked like, and he limps to the bench, Hjalmarsson. Now the Kings. Carter brings it around. Carter, the puck was down, not on the glass. He's able to get out and play it. And the Hawks' clearing attempt is held in. Doughty. A long flipper, never got past Seabrook. Muzzin takes over center. Pearson misses, put it in front. And it was too hot to handle for Carter. Now Muzzin to Carter in behind. Again Muzzin spins it back to Doughty. Goes the other way, Kopitar. They get Carter to the front of the net. A shot, tip, deflected up high. Chased by Seabrook. Couldn't get it beyond Muzzin. And Seabrook a second chance, cleared it. 45 for the LA power play. Hawks on this road trip. They've only given up 2 power play goals against. And better news yet beyond that, they've only been shorthanded 14 times in the first 5 games of this trip. This one's cleared after the dump in.
That is huge, Pat. Good discipline. And those are hard minutes when you're shorthanded.
Keith chased down the dump in. Hey! Cleared it down all the way.
In the one game, Pat, in Calgary, what they have? They were 6, right?
I think it was 6, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
4 of 6, Calgary had 2 power play goals that game. So you like the numbers, you like your chances playing at even strength or when you get the man advantage.
Richards back. Here's a long shot, not getting through. Good block out in front by Smith. Hawks penalty over. Both teams full strength. Here's a quick shot. Oh, great chance, King, and from point blank he missed. Back goes Hjalmarsson. Good to see that he doesn't miss a shift after a shot block early in the PK that seemed to sting him a little bit. Hjalmarsson in his last 9 games has been a +9. As this one's dumped in, Regeer. Pressured by Versteeg. It's cleared up the boards to Brown. Bounce it in. Williams drives the net. Poke shot by Crawford. He saved it tough. A goal. He's going to get a penalty. But an explosive burst up the ice by Justin Williams. He's able to get away from his check and drive the net. Hawks will be short-handed when we come back.
Oh, that last play, Justin Williams gets in behind Michael Roosevelt. Now stop it right here. Watch Corey Crawford. Watch this area here. As Williams goes by him, he goes to try to make that play, and in the referee's opinion, he feels that Corey Crawford trips up. Corey Crawford trips up Justin Williams as he's going hard to the net. And you've seen that called and not called, Pat, in a lot of different situations, where sometimes a player gets in so tight, he's the one that initiates the trip.
But Eddie, as you know and have explained before, there's a big difference now in that tripping call around the league, not just with goalies, but with skaters. It used to be if you dove and got the puck first and took the guy down, it's no penalty. Yeah. Now it doesn't make a difference if you put the guy down, it's a penalty. So that might, I think that played into the official's decision, and looked like the right call to me. As the Kings, who just had a power play, generated a lot on it. Doughty at last. Crawford had a good look at that one. It was not an easy chance, but he gloved it hell.
A lot of what LA has been trying to do is come out from the top of the circle or higher. Win a face-off, set play. Doughty, a good save from Crawford, but an easy save because there's nobody in front of it. It was a quick developing play and no second chance opportunity.
Kings win another draw. Muzzin to Carter. They get Pierce in front of it, or Toffoli at the front of the net. Rebound comes back. Here's Muzzin, long shot, and that just went wide. Picked up by Hjalmarsson. Fires it off the boards and out.
Oh, he's had a fantastic first period, Niklas Hjalmarsson.
And really, it's a comment that could be made a high percentage of nights. Seabrook working the boards, has taken away Carter. Rolled it back, Doughty, Muzzin, through Doughty. And a good stick there from Toews. He knocked the pass out of the zone. Doughty, who takes over here, likely to be on the ice for nearly half the game. He averages 29 minutes a night of ice time. That's second best in the entire league. Pearson. Got checked. Now Seabrook finds Hossa.
I figure that ice time will probably continue to stay where it is, Pat, with the situation of Slava Voinov, defenseman that's been suspended indefinitely for domestic violence charges, and a hole on the defensive core for the Kings, so you expect Doughty to continue to have those minutes mounting.
McBain cleared it over to Williams with a wrist shot. Good white pad from Crawford. Rebound McNabb. He put it into the corner. Williams looks to center, but only white sweaters are there. Kruger put it to the other end. Well, the Hawks able to come through with 2 consecutive PKs to maintain the lead now to the late stages of the first period. Both teams at full strength. Richards, a shot blocked by Roosevelt. Now Michael Roosevelt, he's in his 7th consecutive game in the lineup, which is adds to his season high. Oduya dumped it. Quick played it into traffic, a takeaway shot, they score! Brad Richards from an impossible angle, and Jonathan Quick created the problem. He played it to a guy who was covered by Versteeg. Versteeg got it to Richards, and bang, 2-love.
Well, Pat, we touched on it at the start of this game. The lack of activity for Jonathan Quick the last week of not playing any game. And I think you can see it here clearly. Has the puck, puts it in no man's land, and from our Honda goal replay, I mean, usually there's communication there. The defensemen are telling him to play it or leave it. I mean, they have code words or whatever, and what a play by Chris Versteeg. And this line again, Pat, everything they're generating is from the goal line out. Good quick pressure there from Versteeg. And then Brad Richards from a nasty angle beats Jonathan Quick. But again, the giveaway by the goaltender allowed that chance to happen.
Muzzin, extra move of the line, offside Lewis, and the whistle.
Well, the 2015 All-Star fan vote is well underway. Cast your vote for Toews, Kane, Sharp, Keith, Seabrook, and Crawford. Every ballot you cast is another chance for you to win.
Chicago goal is 5th of the season. Scored by number 91,
All right, now Toews in against Doughty. He danced and he walked to the net. Stuff shot and a save by Quick. Jonathan Toews just undressed Drew Doughty, got right to the doorstep. But Quick able to make the stop. Kopitar to the other end, to the backhand, slipped it in front, right through the blue paint. And Hossa able to get it out.
Oh, and then Quick made a real good stop off the stick of Marian Hossa right after that beautiful move from Toews.
Richards challenged by McBain, but the Hawks able to get it out. Final minute now of the first period. Brown gets the line with a shot right on. Right pad, Crawford. Rebound came back in and out of his glove. That is picked up by Kane. Now out comes Richards. Here's Keith just over the boards. Bounce it back into LA ice. Half a minute remains in period 1. Jared Stoll up the boards to Brown. Bounce it across to Williams. He had no help as the Kings were changing. And Doughty acted to the neutral zone. Now Carcillo rolled it in. Kings clear it back the other way. That's going to finish the first period. A wonderful start for the visitors. They finished with 9 shots. The Kings credited with 8. But that's the man that started the scoring. Danny Carcillo gets his 3rd of the year on his own rebound drive in the net. Then Richards capped off an LA turnover for a 2-love lead. The Blackhawks had a very solid opening period. Let me just follow up on something I heard the boys talking about near the end. The struggles of the Blackhawks offense, which were prominent in the early part of the season. Now it still holds true that the Hawks have scored 2 goals or less in more than half of their games this year, but that's only happened once in the last 6 games where they didn't get at least a 3rd goal. So all of a sudden now some finishing is happening, and the production from the offensive end of the Blackhawk team for Joel Quenneville has been much more in evidence, and maybe that's a big part of the reason they're 7-2 in their last 9 games.
Yeah, there certainly is a confidence level with the puck on their stick in the offensive zone, which was tough to find for a period of time, Pat, but as of late, as you mentioned, there is a swagger, there's a confidence, and I don't think it's any coincidence that the offensive igniter for this team, Patrick Kane, has been right in the middle of all that. Whoa. And the Blackhawks second period is brought to you by MB Financial Bank. MB means business.
Duncan Keith ahead for Marian Hossa. He gets the line. It's ruled to be offside, however. And the whistle goes.
Yeah, we got a very special shout out to the Klein family out there in Highland Park. Had a chance to meet them yesterday at the airport in Philadelphia. They were headed home back to Chicago. Big Blackhawk fan. Special hello to Danny Klein, 9 years old, and also Rachel, who is 12 years old. And Rachel, big Blackhawk fan, Pat, at school, and one of her units for Spanish class was sports, so she did a report on Corey Crawford.
All right.
Me llamo Corey.
I bet she got an A.
Oh, absolutely. A++ for that.
Nice play by Duncan Keith. That was a bad lead by Crawford. He left it right on the dasher board. Keith, with his great hands, really made a difficult play look easy. And the Hawks got out of the zone because of it. Very rare that you see Corey Crawford leave it right up against the yellow like he did there, but Keith made sure with his spectacular ability that nothing bad happened.
Well, we saw that end of the ice partner in the first period create a puck in the back of the net because of the misplay by Jonathan Quick. Sometimes those plays are going to happen where the goaltender doesn't set it up perfectly for whatever reason. Spin on the puck, pressure coming from a side. But as a defenseman, you better be ready for all possibilities.
Toffoli missed it. Oduya tried a shot that Kopitar blocked. Nice pass finds Versteeg from Richards. Here's Kane now. Centered it. Oh, we just missed Versteeg, who was open momentarily in the middle. And the puck possession Blackhawks regroup. Muzzin gets it back for the Kings. Miss Lewis. Now Nordstrom bounced it out of there. Came back to Oduya. Kane tapping it in. Picked up by Drew Doughty. Doughty gets to center with a dump in. Seabrook finds it around. Here's Smith with a little time to take a look. But could only get as far as center. Keith back. Long pass missing. Smith going all the way down. Smith hustled, and they rule that Green could have touched it first, and it's icing.
Well, Blackhawk fans, want to be tonight's Buddig Lunch Meats featured fan or family of the game? Tweet us a family-themed picture with the hashtag HawkFanPhoto, and you might be. That's Amanda Hoover with Duncan Keith. That might have been a little shopping photo there. Or a Photoshop, whatever you call it. I got a little discombobulated on that one. It's been a long 24 hours.
Well, yes, it has. And a sincere kudo to my wonderful partner. And I really appreciate it. And I know our Blackhawk fans appreciate a huge effort. As you may know, Eddie O was in Philadelphia yesterday to do an NBC game and came all the way across 3 time zones to do this game tonight and turned right around after, and we're going to go back to Chicago. And the one thing he's well aware of is sleeping is not advisable on the plane. Here's a long shot by McCain, and tip deflected up high. But when you fall asleep on a team plane, shaving cream could get involved, cut ties could get involved, all manner of things could happen.
Yeah, I've seen guys walking through the airport with only one shoe on before.
So be careful, my boy.
I will.
All right, here's Rundblad walking in, shooting. Shoulder save by Quick. Rebound, Rundblad kept it in. Try it again. Blockered away, Quick. And now the whistle.
I think it's his mask, Pat.
Yeah, he was indicating and pointing over to the official, and yeah, you can see one of the straps came loose. And that's the young referee, Chmielewski, who recognized the scenario. And when the headgear isn't properly set, that play's supposed to be stopped right away.
Yeah, there you see the mask kind of shaking a little bit, and there you see Jonathan Quick trying to get the referee's attention there, and he even had to make a save while he was getting it. Trying to get the attention of the official, but that was a high, hard shot there from David Rundblad.
You see not great numbers in terms of W&L for Quick versus the Blackhawks. Lost twice as many games as he's won in previous work against Chicago. Hossa, and Quick never saw it through a Taves screen, but the shot missed the net. Now it bounces into the Blackhawks bench. Take a look at our Ford upcoming schedule. Hey, there is a home game on the schedule, I know it. And Wednesday night that'll happen when the St. Louis Blues, the fiercest rival the Hawks have, they'll be in town 7 o'clock Wednesday, followed by Montreal on Friday. Then we'll be in Nashville on Saturday. Oh, what a sequence of games. These last few of them when you come to Southern California, 2 stern challenges. And there's some division leaders coming up next. Here's a long shot. Save. Crawford rebound. Came free, and Crawford able to locate and hang on. Toffoli was there, and as the puck came off of Crawford, he had a whack, but then sort of got turned around. Then Crawford managed to relocate.
And not a real hard shot, but a puck that was deflected out about 12 feet in front of Corey Crawford. He had to really fight that one off with Tyler Toffoli there, and then King was looking for an opportunity. Haven't been many, especially on this road trip, there haven't been many second or third chance opportunities for the opponents. And that's a credit to the Blackhawk defensemen and forwards for doing a really good job of tying up sticks and making sure that the goaltender can do what he needs to do and make that initial stop and not have to worry about second or third chances.
Trevor Lewis mounts it out to center ice. Pearson with a dump in, hoping for Carter. Keith is right there with him. Carter jammed the puck free though, but it bounced loose to Smith. Ben Smith, his third dump-in attempt, does get ahead. The Hawks trying to change. They might get caught. Carter gets in. There's Lewis with a backhand shot. Hit a skate in front. Held in by Regeer. His shot hit traffic in front and bounced out of play. That hit the netting. The official's not sure it did, but now they've realized it.
That puck hit the dasher in behind the boards. I don't think this was ever deflected off a Blackhawk player. They're keeping the face-off inside. This puck was airmailed past the goaltender. And there's that change there, Pat, you were talking about. Lewis looking for Carter. Oduya does a good job. Watch the shot by Regeer. He's going to take this shot. Just ends up going off the dasher and an off end of the netting, but face-off is staying inside the zone.
The Kings win it. Regeer shot and tip. Oh, the redirect bounced over the top of the net. And now Richards able to find Versteeg. Rosabal going to get hit by Regeer. Into the corner, Kane. Patrick Kane spins it in deep. There's Versteeg. Chris Versteeg gets help from Kane on the boards. Mike Richards got help along the boards from Nolan. Now here's Regeer. The Kings get it out. Richards for the Kings, unable to pick up a bouncer. Versteeg back in. Kane in some traffic. Regeer able to check him to the wall. And Mike Richards fires a long pass that missed Nolan going all the way down. The race for icing is won by Seabrook.
Well, King and Kane were going at it along the near boards, and as soon as Danny Carcillo jumps on the ice, he goes right over at Dwight King. It was over on those right wing or the left wing boards to the right of Jonathan Quick.
Yeah, here you go.
Patrick Kane gets a shot from behind and kind of stuns him for a second, and then after Patrick Kane gets back up, he gives King a little bit of a shot, and
we gave him an elbow right in the yap, the way it appeared from here, and so yeah, each guy got one in.
Play on.
Here's a shot, good save by Quick, and some traffic created by Shaw, and now the Kings have Nolan bothered by Keith. He put it off the side of his own goal, then Bickle could not advance it. Here's Stoll. Aaron Stoll is checked. Seabrook and Clifford get together. It's going to be held in. Muzzin a long shot. Tip. They score! Jordan Nolan got the tip out in front of Corey Crawford. He slowed it, but he redirected it, and the Kings have cut the Hawks lead in half.
Well, a one battle along the boards. Jake Muzzin with the shot, and the redirect from Jordan Nolan beats Corey Crawford between the legs.
So now it's cleared into the Hawk zone. Hjalmarsson, nice backhand pass. He took a look over his shoulder, saw Saad was open, and you better be sure when you're making that pass. The Hawks quite often do it from deep in their own end, and a great play by Hjalmarsson there. Stoll gets back to the line. Good stick, Oduya. Now Stoll dumped it in. The crowd for the first time has come to life here in the Staples Center. Oduya able to spin away from Brown. Here's Hjalmarsson. Hawks get it in there. Muzzin challenged by Kruger. Oh, a four-man battle in the corner. Cleared around Kopitar. Bouncing puck at the side of the net. Now captured by Nordstrom. He rolled it to Seabrook. Threw it back down low. Smith there. He's checked right away by Kopitar. Nordstrom picked up the puck. Now Kruger spins it back around. Great shift here for the Kruger line. Lots of zone time. As the Kings having trouble clearing it, finally after they have to just fire it back the other way. Will it go far enough for icing? Yes. So a tired group of Kings has to stay out there, and the Hawks will change. Put your hands together. Right over the boards comes the Brad Richards line for Chicago. And the Kopitar line that was pinned in their own end for 45 seconds at least. Now has to have a defensive zone draw. Face off to LA's Muzzin. Now picked up by Versteeg, dropped it to Roosevelt. Then Kane. Patrick Kane. Threw it in behind the net. Kicked loose by King, and the Kings to Foley, dumps it out. Kopitar chasing it down. He got there to save icing. Kopitar then checked. Brad Richards rolled it loose. Here come the Hawks. Kane leads the charge. Then Versteeg looks for Roosevelt. Walks in for Richards. What a pass! Brad Richards, a tapping goal from a defensive defenseman in Michael Roosevelt. He won't score an easier one, but what a play! It's 3-1.
This play was all made by Patrick Kane at the blue line to keep his team onside. Kane got it to Versteeg from our Honda goal replay. And then Michael Roosevelt skate right, pass left. Brad Richards just shovels this puck in behind Jonathan Quick. Watch Quick. He loses his net right here. He's down. And all Richards has got to do is just open up the bottom hand and then redirect that puck. I mean, that's a beautiful redirect by Brad Richards. That pass was right in between his skates. And he's able to score a second of the game. And the Hawks, that's a huge goal to get the momentum back on their side to regain that 2-goal cushion.
Well, 2 for Richards, 3 for the Hawks. They're up a pair in LA.
My great Hall of Fame partner mentioned a little bit earlier. A lot of Chicago, a lot of Los Angeles on this list. And how about those 3 middle Conn Smythe winners give the MVP, Pat? American-born players, Patrick Kane, Jonathan Quick, and Tim Thomas.
And by the way, the next game on the schedule for the LA Kings in this building, the Boston Bruins are coming in. Carter tried to shoot that right in from the draw. Taves tied up his stick beautifully. Now Crawford a long blocker stop, rebound back to the line. Green tried to keep it, could not. And Seabrook put it on the stick of Hossa, then Keith. Duncan Keith, good pass to Taves. Keith drive in the middle. Taves couldn't get the puck back there. And now the Kings able to get out of their end. Tanner Pearson pursued by Marian Hossa. Centering attempt deflected back to the boards, and Taves helped by Hossa. Marian Hossa with 8 points in his last 6 games. Got this deep. Doughty starting back. Lewis chipped it deep. And Hjalmarsson works back towards center, pursued by Clifford. Shaw going to get together with Nolan. Cleared around the boards. Oduya finds Bickle.
Good pickup there by Bickle.
And he gloved it down to his stick. The rush jammed up though, and now Doughty gets into the Hawk zone. Drew Doughty shot. Well, he whistled a wrist shot just wide. Arcillo able to clear it. Now Hjalmarsson has to get back. Contact from Clifford. Puck cleared around the boards. And the Hawks send it back the other way for icing. I want to send a happy birthday wish, being a fan of great broadcasters. I want to send a birthday wish to a legend. The great Vin Scully is 87 years old today. He's been doing the LA Dodgers for 66 years. Now seated right next to us is a Hall of Fame broadcaster for the LA Kings, Bob Miller. Great guy there, closest to you. And he mentioned to me today, if Vin Scully retired today, which isn't going to happen, Bob Miller would tie Vin Scully in duration when he reaches 100 years of age. Bob, a great guy, and boy,
Terrific
they've
guy.
been blessed in this city with great broadcasters in all the big sports. We think back to Chick Hearn and Bob Miller and Vin Scully. Wow. But 87 years young for the great Vin Scully. Here's Stoll for the Kings, looking to center. It goes to Crawford, and then is able to capture the puck and get a whistle. We've come to the halfway point of period 2. Hawks 3, Kings 1.
Don't forget to visit the WGN Sports Game Zone, powered by Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing. Go to WGNTV.com and click on the WGN Sports Game Zone, brought to you by Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing. Needed the air conditioning today, partner. It was like 77 here today in LA. Call now for a free estimate. Turn the heat on. We're coming home, Chicago, for all the right reasons. Four Seasons. Hey. That's tasty.
I wonder what kind of a beverage.
I better watch my knuckles.
All right, now Keith put it back into LA Ice. McBain challenged by Nordstrom. Nordstrom won the puck, now spins it back to Keith. Able to elude a check. Duncan Keith goes down low. Looking for a three-stick in front. Keith still hangs on now. Keith tried to slip it to Smith. Back to Nordstrom. Then Seabrook. Pass for Keith. He shoots. What a save by Quick. How about the passing of the Blackhawks in the last several games, including this sequence? They look like the Trotters. I mean the Globetrotters.
Boy, Duncan Keith looking like Wayne Gretzky in behind that net, setting up shop. Nordstrom to Seabrook, back to Duncan Keith. I think Dunk was really surprised at how wide open he was, and he's a little bit off balance after he lets this shot go. And look at Jonathan Quick making like a sneaky peeker, looking in behind, not sure where that puck was. No second chance opportunity, but you made the point, partner. I mean, the passing, just hard, tape to tape, and very tough to check when teams are making plays like that offensively.
Kopitar, bothered by Roosevelt, but he's center one. Here's Muzzin. He joined the play, and Jake Muzzin fired it wide. Well, a shot by Pearson at the side of the net. Oduya got rubbed off on the boards. Roosevelt sends it the other way. Took a funny hop, and the Kings keep it in. Pearson shot. Save Crawford. Rebound of Kopitar. Could not muscle his way in front under tight checking. And the Hawks' Kane starts back. It'll be dumped in. Doughty couldn't pick up a bad pass, and Carcillo wound up with a blast that missed the net. Tyler Toffoli in on Hjalmarsson. Taking away Carcillo. And Rundblad rolled it up the board. That's held in. Here's a center pass. Quick shot. Oh, just wide Toffoli. He had a great chance. And the former first rounder, who was set up beautifully, missed the target. Toffoli's got 9 goals to up among the LA lead. He won't, well, at least the Hawks hope he won't get a better one tonight, or better chance. A long pass from McNabb, finding Nolan. He centered it, came back to him, and we whipped on a shot. Now Nolan. Shot it from a bad angle wide. And on the boards, King trying to pry it loose, but instead it's Hjalmarsson.
That's some tired players on the ice right now. Kings have some fresh ones.
And it's going to be retrieved by Mike Richards. Rolled it back to Regeer. Rundblad checked. Nolan took it away. In behind is Dwight King. Trying to center one. That's picked off. Bickle able to get it ahead to Hossa. And Hossa got it into LA Ice. And now the other 4 Hawks can change them up. That comes King with a dump in. Crawford gloving and holding.
You know, the Hawks had some tired players on the ice. They were able to keep the Kings for the most part to the outside. The Kings really never could get inside the dots to generate or penetrate any offensive looks. Sometimes you got to just protect the middle of the ice, work yourself out from there, and just hope for an opportunity to get the puck out, as the Hawks did, and Hossa was able to chip it in deep.
Here's a wrist shot. Oh, that deflected just wide by Brown. Held in Green. Now Jared Stoll. Chipped it deep. Player to the boards. Green kept it for LA. Taves is checked, but helped by Saad to get it out of there. And Stoll pressured by Taves. He jammed it loose. Muzzin there for the Kings. Williams able to clear it to center. Stoll in on Oduya. Now Roosevelt flipped it to center. He'll get it again. And now McBain. And the Kings are offside as they got to the Hawks line. 5 minutes remaining in the second period. This is the 24th game of the year for LA. Only the 10th time anybody scored a third goal on them.
Well, the injury report is sponsored by Illinois Bone and Joint Institute. Illinois Bone and Joint Institute, helping you move better so you can live better. And Sharpie, the only man, missing his 11th straight game, is skating on his own. I'm sure he's going to be happy to have his teammates back at home.
Yeah. And they're going to be very glad to get home. After a long grind, but a very successful road trip, which it'll be a spectacular trip if they can finish this one off.
Can't forget TVR as well. He'll be out for next couple of months.
Kopitar centered it. Here's a quick shot going wide from Carter. It bounced all the way out. So Daryl Sutter changing a few things up too with his team. Held to 1 goal late stage of the second. Carter and Kopitar on the ice together. Here's a giveaway and a centering pass. Kruger didn't get to Smith. And it's taken by Muzzin. Steal by Keith. Back in Brad Richards. Lets it go and a save quick. He holds. Some of the many great Blackhawks fans in attendance today. A couple from Northbrook I had a chance to meet yesterday. Eddie Michael and Deborah Karampoulos, who actually came to LA for a dual reason. They have a son that goes to Notre Dame. They were at the LA Coliseum today. Oops. So they had a doubleheader. They went to that game. Now they're at the hockey game tonight. They are big Blackhawk fans, huge fans of Eddie Olczyk, and they really appreciate how much they've been able to learn about this great sport, watching Blackhawks hockey from the best analyst in sports. Well, they mentioned that to me yesterday, and we appreciate their support.
Yeah, tough day for the Fighting Irish.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, here's Christopher Stieg. McBain. Oh, Versteeg took it down. That should be a penalty. Took a moment for the arm to go up, but Versteeg took the feet from under Brayden McNabb, and Hawks will be shorthanded for the third time tonight.
Yeah, there you see the stick around the right leg of McNabb going back for that puck. They had a little get together there with Richards and Clifford and Roosevelt.
So the Kings with their third unanswered power play of the game. I would look at this, a fairly large scenario here. They can get a late second period goal. They're right back in it. Here's Doughty taking a look. A give and go. Doughty's long shot. Blocker save. Crawford rebound came back to him, made a second stop. And the Hawks able to get it out.
Good job there by Kruger. Oh, he just killed off a good 10 or 12 seconds there by forcing Doughty to come all the way back.
And then he went change right away. Hjalmarsson able to bounce this one out to center. Kopitar had to wait for everybody to get back onside. Anze Kopitar back into Chicago ice with a ring around. Carter's on this side. Not help from Pearson. Then Kopitar in deep. Muzzin to Doughty. Back to Jake Muzzin, feeding Kopitar. And Hossa able to break up that return pass. Hjalmarsson clears it down the length of the ice. And the second rotation for the Hawks, they've changed twice. A minute and 10 in. Doughty Lewis into the zone, or I should say Brown spins it back. Here's McBain. Dropping it, McNabb, a long shot. Good save, Crawford through a screen, and the rebound cleared. Now Braden McNabb. Jared Stoll, and it goes. Brown couldn't quite get to it. Williams taken away by Hossa. Might have a 3-on-2. Seabrook's up with him too. Hossa wanted Saad. The pass picked out of midair, resulting in an offside call.
Yeah, I want to go back to that play that Marcus Kruger made at our BMO Harris Bank Telestrator. Now, I want everybody to keep an eye on this man here, but also watch, everybody's going for a change, so just watch the job that Kruger does here. He doesn't allow Doughty to move this puck. Look at his stick. Look at his stick. And look at the Blackhawks are able to make that change. And now, as you mentioned, Kruger's able to go in and make that change after he killed off a good 10 or 12 seconds there. I mean, you just can't leave the ice there. Because if you leave, they just make a quick up, and all of a sudden you might give up a 4-on-2. And that's one of the many reasons why the Blackhawk penalty kill has been so good this season.
Now the penalty is over. Both teams at full strength. And the Kings, who had 7 power play goals their last 6 games, are nothing out of 3 tonight. Roosevelt. In behind it goes Versteeg. Trying to pry it loose. He did. A quick shot. Richards had a save by Quick. Rebound Versteeg. And Richards, helped by Kane, it escaped him to center ice. 70 left in the period. Here's Versteeg back in. Richards to the net. Versteeg hangs on.
Last minute of play in the period. This
And now a board battle in LA ice. Nolan able to work his way ahead. A steal, Oduya. Richards gains the line. Centered it. Good stick. Mike Richards, who picked it off. And now half a minute left in period 2. Green turned it over. Taves centered. Oh, he put the pass behind Saad, who would have been all alone. Now Saad driving and shooting, and to save Quick, who had thoughts of covering it, then decided to play it. Jalmerson kept it in. Here's Hossa fighting to the middle. Dropped it to Keith. Rink wide, deflected by Green. And the puck cleared out of play.
Well, the quickness of the Blackhawks here tonight has really prevented the LA Kings from coming out of their zone with any kind of consistency. And we talked about the importance, Pat, at the top of the game, that 3rd game in 4 nights, 6th game of the road trip, the last night of the road trip. Short shifts would be important, and the Hawks rotation has been sensational, not only shorthanded, but even strength.
Taves won a draw, a whack by Roosevelt, a bouncing puck. It floated wide, and then a wraparound didn't get completed before the time ran out. Blackhawks had 7 shots in the period. The Kings had 8. But a goal from Brad Richards, his second of the game, was the one that put the Hawks up by 2.
transition into the second period.
Okay, Rich and Steve, thanks very much. Blackhawks at 20 minutes away from what would be a spectacular road trip, as you just heard the fellas talking about. And by the way, you know, this trip, I've been around long enough where this long Thanksgiving sojourn, which is anywhere from 5 to 8 games, there have been a lot of years when the Blackhawks have gone on that trip and come back with only 1 or 2 wins, and for the rest of the year, you're playing catch-up. Well, the Hawks are now 4-1 so far in this trip. And by the way, since Jonathan Taves and Patrick Kane showed up in the 07-08 season, the Hawks' record on this trip is 26-12 with 4 others. So, I mean, those are spectacular numbers, and it sets you up, Eddie, into a situation where from here on out, you're not trying to play catch-up necessarily to the rest of the league or the rest of your division. And it certainly doesn't make things easier, but every game doesn't become a desperation scenario.
Yeah, the pressure of trying to get points, a little bit more relaxed when you have points in your pocket 30, 45 days out, but you go on a trip like this, can really make or break.
Trevor Lewis, as we are early in the third, has pass, comes across to Muzzin, whose shot never got through. Picked up Doughty at center. Well, both teams changing as Keith takes over. Locke's able to get it in. On the other side, Nordstrom rings it around. He got run over by Green after passing along the boards. Now Green takes a run at Kruger. Puck taken by Nordstrom. He got leveled a moment ago, but went nowhere, and the puck finds him. And finally the Kings able to get control back. Pearson dumps it in. Jeff Carter tried to center, that never connected. Carter gets it back. This pass here picked off Hjalmarsson. Carter kept it. Threw it across to the other side, Pearson. Now it's back to the line. Here's a long shot, Doughty tip. And the puck never got through after a redirect. Again, Doughty. Put it across, Pearson shot, that's blocked.
Pearson had Carter wide open in a slot and he didn't see him.
Here's Doughty with a good keep. And behind the goal, it came back in front. A shot by Pearson went wide. Carter's in behind. Wants Pearson, he's well covered. Now Tanner Pearson to Jeff Carter. Threw it out in front. Kopitar broke his stick on the shot attempt. And Versteeg the other way. Crisscrossing leads for Kane. Then Richards a blast. Oh, and he fired it wide. Rebound. Came back to the Kings. And now they'll move away. Williams carries. And he dumped it into the crowd, trying to go off the glass. Well, Eddie, coming into the game, the big guns for the LA Kings. Jeff Carter, Tyler Toffoli, Tanner Pearson. Between these three guys, they had 25 goals so far this year, and neither of them, or none of them, has a shot on goal so far tonight. How about the Blackhawks team D?
And not a lot of room. And one of the consistent strengths of this team has been their team defense. Yeah, they've had some rough nights, but for the most part, they've been able to zero in on the key guys, the most effective guys, and limit their opportunities.
McBain rolled it to center. Well, the Kings get it in. Roosevelt. He had his pass stolen. Williams put it in front. Good stick there. Roosevelt broke up the feed, which was intended for Brown. Now Muzzin for LA. They send it deep. Oduya missed Taves with a pass. Here's King. Couldn't get rid of an opportunity. And Hossa couldn't get it out. Into the corner, King. Then Mike Richards put it back. Here's a long shot. McBain never got through. And picked up Roosevelt. Cleared it to center. Here comes Saab. Brandon Saab look into the middle. Hossa was driving up there, but the pass out of his reach. Nolan the other way. Pass didn't connect with King. And the Hawks able to dump it. Quick had a blowout in behind. But Regeer settles to Clifford. Doughty, who's been on the ice for half of the first 40 minutes tonight. Now has to drop it back. Regeer. Shot it into Chicago ice. Seabrook there. Here's Versteeg into the zone. He's got two helpers tonight. A wrist shot right on. And a save by Quick.
Well, Blackhawk fans, take a look at the all-new Chevy Malibu. The 2015 Chevy Malibu is a real game changer. It's all about drive. See your Chicagoland or Northwest Indiana Chevy dealer today. Or go to ChevyDrivesChicago.com. Drive what Kane and Taves drive.
Patrick Kane, in the last 6 games he's played, in 5 of them he's had multiple point outings. Now really could have easily had an assist tonight on the 3rd Hawks goal, but he was the 4th guy. That play went for Stieg to Roosevelt. Then a centering pass here at the other end. A Carter redirect went just wide. Muzzin tapped it to the net. Handled by Crawford.
Boy, what an opportunity there. Pearson with the speed wide, Pat, and then Jeff Carter goes to the net, and I mean, doesn't even get a shot on goal. The pressure coming from Richards on the back check, and Carter just isn't able to finish off the opportunity as Crawford was down.
Stoll and Smith, a pair of 28s here. Hawks get the draw. Oduya hit hard but cleared it back the other way. There's going to be icing Chicago. And Dustin Brown, who delivered the blow. Always got to be aware when the Kings captain is on the ice, whether he's producing points or not, he will take a piece of anybody he can get near.
Yeah, he's not afraid to try to run you in the 3rd or 4th row.
Been credited with 5 hits so far in the game tonight. Now a face-off win, Kruger. And now Pearson finds Carter, who gains the line. He put it to the late man Muzzin, but he took his eye off the pass. Jeff Carter's in deep, slipped it in front, just missing the stick of Pearson. 5 minutes gone by here in the 3rd. As a puck deflects over the glass and out of play. The Kings have won their last 3 home games. They've had a lot of home cooking so far this year. They're 10-2-1 here in their own rink. They are 6 games over 500 overall this season. For the Blackhawks, looking to put the finishing touches on a wonderful road swing. Keith trying to catch Quick, leaving the net early. And he's going to have to take a draw on his own end now, Quick. Mentioned some earlier numbers since Kane and Taves have joined the Blackhawks, and not long after that, Coach Q stepped behind the Blackhawks bench, and how about those rock solid numbers? You know, when you're the worst you are on this long trip is 500, that's pretty good. A face-off win, Shaw to Keith to Seabrook. Shaw's in behind. Check there. Dustin Brown. Dropped it back. Williams has a little room. Now it's held in. McBain put it up to Stoll. He rings it around. Brown dropped it to Regier. A long wrist shot blocked Carcillo, who dives to get it out. Andy Carcillo scored the first goal of the game late in the first, his 3rd of the year. The 2 other Hawks tallies coming from Brad Richards, raising his season total to 6. Now Taves to Hossa. Lewis got it back. And Clifford rolled it to center. Here's Roosevelt. He missed on a pass, going to be icing Chicago. So Jonathan Taves, who's got 9 goals his last 16 games, and a total of 10 for the year. But again, one of those guys, even though he's got great numbers don't tell the story about what he brings.
Yeah, he can have an impact on the game even if he isn't on the score sheet. The competitive nature and the ability to be able to play on both sides of the puck.
Doughty's going to bounce it in behind. Carter to Muzzin. His wrister. Block Roosevelt.
Those type of shots are not going to get through. Those little wristers that Muzzin just took. Those are going to be easy blocks for the Hawks. That one was by Roosevelt.
Here's Doughty to Muzzin. Ahead, Kopitar wants Pearson, who centered it. Oh, and just missed the stick of Carter on the other side. A shot attempt never got through from Doughty. And it's taken back by Oduya.
It's the second time Jeff Carter's been in that same area of the ice to the left of Corey Crawford, and nothing has happened for 77 in black.
Now King throws it into the corner. Keith first on it. Nordstrom lost it to King. Dwight King unable to get it back toward the middle. Now it's taken by Seabrook. Able to clear it the other way. Mike Richards scooped it to center. King tried a shot that was blocked. He gets it back. Then Versteeg takes it away. Chris Versteeg sends it deep.
Good play there. Smart play. Wasn't able to make a direct pass. Just get it in down low. This is where this line's had great success again. Back-to-back games.
Kane's got it. Patrick Kane trying to battle toward the net. Turns behind. Now moves in front with a shot. And a shoulder save made by Quick. Rebound Versteeg. Chris Versteeg able to hang on. Very calm with the puck. Put it down the stick of Kane. Versteeg again to Richards. He got checked, but Versteeg took it back to Kane. He shoots. Big save with a left pad by Quick. Rebound to the corner. And a great shift again for the Richards line for Chicago. Versteeg trying to get to the middle. He did in the backhand shooting. Going to draw a penalty. This will be the first power play of the game for the Hawks. Kane threw it across Versteeg with a sixth attacker on. Back across to Hjalmarsson. Hawks are toying with the Kings here. Kane dropped it to Richards. Put it across to Versteeg. Richards. A wrister. And it's deflected away by Quick. Taves takes it back. And the Kings can't get the puck. Six attackers, Chicago. Finally, a pass made that was stolen by Nolan. The Hawks in a keep away clinic. You want to touch the puck? You can't have it. It's 3-1.
Check out the Blackhawks blog at WGNTV.com. The blog is brought to you by Jeff Vukovich, your local nationwide insurance agent, serving the area for 36 years. To join the nation, you know what to do. Contact Jeff at jeffvuk.com. That's jeffvuk.com. And remember, Nationwide is on your side.
Hawks with their first power play chance of the game, and on this road trip, 6 out of 24. Regeer off for the hook. After the Hawks kept control of the puck for well over a minute. Here's the draw. Green clearing. Now Versteeg for Taves. He ran into some traffic trouble. And look out on the Hawks bench as that clearing attempt wound up out of play.
Man, everybody duck goose on that bench. You had Frank going down, you had Coach Dineen, you had Coach Q, you had Coach Kitchen, and you had Parchie and Jimmy Heinzelman running for cover. Or ducking for cover, I guess. Nobody was running, everybody was just ducking.
All right, here's the draw. Won by Taves. Keith to Kane. He snapped it off. That's blocked by Quick. Now comes back to Seabrook. Versteeg's at the front of the net. Kane's got it. Shot it. That's blocked to Stoll.
That hurt Green right in the hand, the left hand.
All right, now Kane to Versteeg. 11 points in the last 7 games for Chris Versteeg, including 2 tonight. Here's Seabrook. Kane. Versteeg front of the net. Toews going to come to this side. And again, Kane to the captain. Toews back to Seabrook, who whiffed on the one-time attempt. Dustin Brown the other way. Has no help. Had to pass it to himself, and he did get the puck back. Threw it in front. That's taken away by Shaw.
Heck of an effort there from Dustin Brown. Good job there from Shaw, as you mentioned, Pat, coming off the bench, coming right back to the middle of the ice.
Osa into the zone, fights his way through Green, who doesn't miss a shift after a shot hit him earlier. And the Kings get the puck, and Toffoli cleared it. Now Hjalmarsson. Pass got jammed up. Shaw dropped it back. The LA penalty over. Both teams are at full strength. Here's Smith. That'll blow out, and Mike Richards cleared it up the boards. Nolan checked. They're still able to get it out. Now Ben Smith won a board battle. Down low, Kruger for Smith. Boy, a nice passing attempt. But Smith got taken down as the puck arrived. Kings dump it back in. Oduya gets it into the LA zone. Hawks looking to complete a change. King threw it to the other side. Keith there. Now Muzzin. Kopitar checked right away. And the Kings need to reorganize. And Eddie, you mentioned this early in the game tonight. Anze Kopitar, 5 goals and 10 points is all he's had this year. Centering past Pearson broken up. And there are a couple of shifts where he's been noticeable tonight, but I think the Kings looking for a little more from one of their offensive leaders.
Yeah, they need a lot more, as they've been pretty much all season long offensively challenged. If you didn't have the Pearson Toffoli Carter line get off to such a great start. That's offside.
Called by linesman Tony Siriculo. 7 minutes remain in regulation. 3-1 Chicago. Welcome back to LA. I want to make mention of a wonderful upcoming event, Skate with the Greats, on Sunday, December the 7th from 2 to 5 at the Bobby Hull Rink in Cicero. You can see where to get more information, but at that event, Chris Versteeg and Andrew Shaw will be there to sign some autographs. But other guys that will go on the ice include Cliff Carl, Big Dozer, Eric Daze is going to go out. The great radio announcer Troy Murray. Murray Bannerman is coming. I can only say the name one way. But it's always a fun event. And most importantly, all the proceeds from that day go to the Ronald McDonald House. So you're helping a great cause and having a lot of fun doing it. Hope you'll be able to take part on December the 7th. Here comes Toffoli. 2 Hawks get to him, preventing a shot, but it's picked up here. Lewis moves in front, trying to slip it past Crawford. That didn't work. Toffoli checked by Richards. Now Lewis spins it back, picked off by Kane. He tried to get it deep, it didn't happen. Clifford on the counter, and a good stick. Brad Richards stayed on the ice and managed to make the shot block. Now Williams for LA. Justin Williams along Rister, floats wide. Comes around to Kane.
Got to get off the ice. He's out of gas right now, Patrick Kane.
A good keep here by the Kings. Keith finds Richards. He banks it to Nordstrom, who's checked. He failed to clear. Stoll kept it. Keith trying to find some way to get it to center. And Kane's pass didn't connect. But the Hawks do make a number of changes. Back comes Williams. His feed picked off Nordstrom. He gets it in to complete The player change. Now Brown. Offside is whistled. 5 minutes remaining in the road trip for the Hawks. They're up 2. Chicago Blackhawks hockey has been brought to you by Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or localfordstores.com. BMO Harris Bank, we're here to help. Honda, start something special with a great deal on Honda, now at your Honda dealer. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. And by Toyota, see where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. Well, Eddie, the Chicago Blackhawks, who played yesterday and the LA Kings did not. LA trailing going into the third period. How about the team defense of the Blackhawks? They've allowed 2 shots to the Kings in 15 minutes. There's the third by Doughty. And they don't have a forward, the Kings, who've had a shot in the period. Doughty has that one. Muzzin has the other 2. Yeah. 3 total shots in 15 minutes. Incredible team defense by the visitors.
Yeah, and some missed opportunities. Carter in particular, Pat, on some backdoor plays. But the Hawks, as it's been pretty much all season long, team defense has been a super strength.
Here comes Pearson looking to drive. He shoots. Kicked away by Crawford. Rebound Kopitar. Now Oduya. Up the boards, back to the other end. It'll be chased down by Nolan. Both teams making a few changes, or at least the Kings did. And now they start back. Mike Richards got jammed up at center. Bickle on the takeaway. Shooting. Missed the target. Rebound Shaw. Now to Bickle. Puck jumped loose. Carcillo, a shot went up high. Bounce back to center ice.
Yeah, to this point now, Pat, under 4 to go. No place. The puck's got to get in deep. Force the LA Kings to come 200 feet. If you're the Blackhawks offensively, especially through the middle of the ice.
Richards tried to dump it. Hjalmarsson picked it off. Kane kicks to the stick, trying to dance the D. Now able to hang on. Cleared it in deep. Green put it up the boards. Clifford got it to center. That's all the farther they could get. Oduya. And by the way, speaking of Team D, got to tip our hat to the 5 defensemen that have basically played this game for the Blackhawks. David Rundblad, I don't think has been on here in the third, and basically been mostly a 5-man rotation tonight. That plays offside. But again, back-to-back games, third game in 4 nights, as you mentioned before. So Keith, Seabrook, Oduya, Hjalmarsson, Roosevelt. Major kudos for a big effort tonight.
Yeah, we saw that in the game in Colorado as well, where the Hawks pretty much just had rotated, Pat, 5 defensemen in that game in Denver.
Now 6 attackers for Daryl Sutter. The goal to our right is empty. Hawks win the draw, though. And they're able to clear it back the other way. It hit the post. Blackhawks came that close to finishing things, but still a 2-goal lead. Carter put it in. Stoll couldn't reach it. Now it bounced loose in behind. Brown for LA. Back to Muzzin. Then Williams. Down low to Doughty. Trying to shoot it through the goal mouth. It came all the way to this side. Muzzin's long shot picked off Keith. He got it to Smith, and he was short of center, safely made sure to get it into the offensive zone without drawing an icing violation. Down to 2 minutes remaining. Kopitar. Back goes Oduya. Hjalmarsson. Backhands for Hossa, chipped it loose, chased down by Saad for the empty net. Hawks win. Brandon Saad's going to get the empty net goal. The Blackhawks with a 3-goal lead. Less than 2 minutes remaining. And a 5-1 road trip is in the offing.
Pat, you were giving some love to the Blackhawks defenseman. Let's give some more here. Watch the play here. And this ends up being Nicholas Hjalmarsson that gets the pass from Johnny Oduya. Quick little bypass. The play from Hossa to Brandon Saad puts it into the wide open net. Hjalmarsson and Hossa with the assist. But the play working in sync. Oduya and Hjalmarsson allowed the Hawks to be able to exit the zone. And well on their way to win the last game of the circus trip.
Carcillo. Will be an offside play. He was hit hard as he got to the line. He and McNabb got together, and now they're slugging it out. And Carcillo landing a couple of rights on McNabb. Now McNabb tried an uppercut. And Carcillo got in a right hand, and down went McNabb. Yeah, he played here for a while. Oh, and now another skirmish as Roosevelt got pushed in the chest by one of the Kings. It looked like Bickle has grabbed him. I believe it was Nolan that sort of shoved Roosevelt. There was a huge gathering, almost a huddle type situation. Now Kopitar and Roosevelt. And the bad feelings from last spring have spilled over here in the late stages of a one-sided game. And the Blackhawks knowing that but for an overtime goal in Game 7 by the Kings, they would have won the Stanley Cup. So believe me, memories like that do not leave you.
Well, this play was offside, and then McNabb goes in to finish the check, and he gets the elbow up on Danny Carcillo. And the last shot that Carcillo got, Pat, I don't know if Danny got him with the hand or the forearm, but I mean, McNabb went right down. I mean, this was a spirited bout, and right there, just catches McNabb right on the button. Well, I think what Danny was upset about was not necessarily that it was a late hit, Pat. I think just where the arm came up on him. And
well, the Kings looked at this as sort of a benchmark game. I think the Blackhawks did too. Absolutely. I mean, this is the team that they have quite a rivalry with. And again, that 7-game series we saw in the springtime was as good as it gets for any hockey fan. Two great teams. And I think it's just a shame they only played 3 times. The Kings will not be in Chicago except one game late in March. Hawks make one more visit to this rink during regular season play.
That'll be the first game after the All-Star break back here in LA.
Well, the extra minor penalty given for the elbow that Eddie picked up on from McNabb, that's going to be a power play opportunity for the Hawks. Bickle gets the draw. Now Roosevelt. And Richards across to the other side. A long shot. Rundblad in his second shift of the period. Now he played it to Richards. Richards.
Somebody's got to move.
Yeah, hanging on. They got 5 stationary out there. Here's Rundblad. Richards to the middle. His shot never got through. Roosevelt kept it. Final minute of the game. Brad Richards. Across for Roosevelt. A shot. Good save by Quick from post to post. Richards again. Rundblad's one-timer missed. Now the Kings green needs help from Regeer. Now we're down to half a minute remaining.
They just made the announcement inside the building, Pat, that Saad goal into the empty net. The only assist was Marian Hossa. They must have forgot that Four passed it up to him. Should get Hjalmarsson an assist
Absolutely.
there.
Well, they review all those, so we've seen assists added to the next day, and
Yeah, we've seen
that
goals.
ought to happen.
Yeah, we've seen goals taken away.
Changed. Goals
Absolutely.
changed the next day.
Yeah. Trevor Van Riemsdyk's first National Hockey League goal, credited to Chris Versteeg. This was about 24 hours
Yeah,
later.
it was the next day. Yeah.
So get yours today at mercuryinsurance.com/games.
Well, the
That's mercuryinsurance.com.
final 7 seconds of a spectacular road trip about to expire. And the Blackhawks beat the Kings as a decisive final score reads 4-1, and Corey Crawford in his 14th consecutive appearance. Rock solid when needed, but on both sides of the puck, Eddie, offensively, defensively, hard to find much fault, and you go home with 10 points out of a possible 12. A spectacular road trip for the Chicago Blackhawks, who will be back on home ice on Wednesday night against the Blues.